too. So now, so I was sharing the situation with my daughter, but this is what I wanted to share. This is what I wanted to share. I said all of that concerning my daughter and what I'm going through with that and what she's going through and how I'm showing up and supporting her and, you know, being very intentional and move, you know, showing up as a responsible parent to make sure that I intervene and, you know, create these the showing up for her while holding her accountable and helping her to really acknowledge her behavior and how she's moving, but at the same time holding her accountable and, you know, putting some measures of consequences and stuff like that. But this is what I want to say, and this is to the parents. Why this have been emotional for me, because like I said, yesterday I did a lot of crying. Today, this morning, I did some crying. I had to get out of the house and just go walk. I just needed to get grounded. Because when you are really healing and you are not suppressing things that come up or thoughts that come up and you're not trying to run from them, it's emotional. And what I realized, and I told this to my mom, she called me, she was telling me how proud she was of me showing up and being fully present to my children and not being occupied with running behind no man, not being occupied with wasting life and resources on junk and being in the street, but very intentional of being front and center for my children. Oh, there goes Sweetie. Hey, Sweetie. She don't see me, but I see her. My daughter going through this triggered me. What do you mean it triggered you? It's a trigger, and I didn't realize that help moving through this with her and showing up in that space where I'm responsible to help her, guide her, and hold her accountable and develop her and ensure her development. What has also come up while I realize I'm so emotional, and this is the teenager in me that was once her age. I realize, and the 16-year-old girl in me is very emotional and hurt right now because I am like, God, where was my support and where was my help and where was the resources of me, for me, of somebody stepping in and helping me through that difficult time in my life where I was on the way to being lost. That's what I realized I'm sad and crying about. My mom called me this morning, just telling me how proud she was of me and, just encouraging me. And I had to say, and I told her, I said, Mom, I give God all the glory for that because the way that I'm parenting and showing up, this is not the kind of parenting I got, and it ain't even the kind of parenting my mama had. And I said, but I can't help but feel sad, and I can't help but the little 16-year-old girl in me that went through this stuff, like that. I feel her. Like, where was my helping? Where was my support? Why nobody showed up for me? Because I feel like, had I had those tools and that resources, a lot of the pitfalls and a lot of the mistakes I made, I wouldn't have made so many. And I wouldn't have stayed in the place that I was in so long. And at this I'm 45. I would be somewhere else right now. Is how I feel. And I told my mama that that's nobody's fault. Like, it's not my mom's fault in the sense that she did not have the tools. It's not her fault that her mother didn't have the tools. It's not her fault. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just this generational stuff, and the buck stopped here, obviously. But, yeah, I realized that parenting, when you see your children go through things that you once went through, and you locked in, and you're not being occupied with developing a relationship with a man to, numb you from those fears and those abandonment and those rejection issues, and you're fully present, parenting can be triggering. Yep. It can trigger. And that's what's happening. That's what these tears are. Somebody gave me this for my tears. It says, she is close in strength and dignity, and she laughs without fear of the future. Proverbs 31:25. Wow. I didn't even read this. She just gave this to me because I was sharing with her and had some tears come out, and she gave me this. But, and thank you to Shara. But yeah, parenting is triggering. And if you don't have the courage to sit in that and feel that and accept that and acknowledge that, you will stay in the place of that. And so I'm acknowledging that, seeing my daughter move through this phase in her life that I once had, hey sister, really made me acknowledge how at that same age that she is now, when I was that age and life started throwing that shit at me, I did not have the support and the tools. Nobody cared. Nobody, not that they didn't care, but the way the little girl my age see it as, nobody cared enough to come and see about me, come and guide me, come and help me. And that's not the truth. Because the truth is, I truly believe everybody in my life, in my family, in my support, and my, people that was in my life, I really feel they gave me the best support they knew how to give. That's what I feel. But being a parent, and I'm seeing life come at my daughter, and I'm seeing the benefit that she is experiencing, which is the benefit of somebody that have been through what she been through, showing up in her life, giving her tools. Now I'm getting in that ass. Don't get me wrong. There is some accountability. However, I am showing up with information that I'm able to share with her. I'm showing up with words and feelings and experiences that she's having that she don't know how to articulate because I've experienced it and because life has developed me. God has healed me. God has walked with me. God has talked with me. God has dealt with me. God has wrestled with me. I'm able to give her information, support, nurturing, and a level of accountability in the way that I wasn't given. And give her words for her experiences. Because when we're young, we don't know how to articulate what we're feeling. We don't even know what it is we're feeling. We just exist. And so me thinking about, damn, if I would have had a Gayla, 4 little Gayla, at 45, where would my life be now? And so that's the part that I cried about, and I allowed the little 16-year-old girl in me acknowledge that. I allowed her to feel sad about that. I don't tell her, forget about it, I'll get over it. I ain't doing none of that. I'm just letting her cry about that. And then what I'm telling the grown woman in me and the little girl in me is this part. Gayla, the woman you are today is called, you say you love Christ, right? Yes, I do. So if you love him, you got to follow him. Yes, I do. And so to follow him means you got to pick up your cross. Okay, God. And your cross is that you had to go through all of that without no support and no help as a little girl and become a young woman that has been broken by those experiences, healing now, but once broken. And you went through that so that you can be of service and support for your children and any other little young girl or young man that's coming behind you. That is the truth. And that is what I have to comfort myself on. And that is what I have to allow to, deposit back strength in me and the right way of looking at this situation, and allow that thought and those truths be what I allow to govern how I feel and respond. That. So I say that to say this. Parenting can be triggering because you see stuff that you once went through show up in your kids. And if you are not repeating the same shit that was done to you, you showing up in a better way. You showing up for them in a way that would help them to minimize the pitfalls that they will encounter. And you showing up in a way that nobody ever showed up for your ass. And that is painful. That is painful, and that is hurtful. That's what that is. And I just wanted to share that. And so give yourself grace as you parent. Give yourself grace as you parent. As you move through parenting. When your kids do something that make you emotional, because yesterday I was crying a lot, like, not all through the day, but I did my several times of crying. This morning I shed some tears on the phone with my mama. When I went on the walk, I shed some tears. And it dawned on me this morning when I was talking to my mama that, and last night, because I kind of had some tears before I went to sleep, and I let myself articulate my sadness, how I feel, and I didn't tell myself, forget about it. I didn't do nothing to get me out of that space. I sat in it, and I cried, and I felt it in my stomach, in my heart, and I told myself some truth, which is, I guess it was necessary. It was necessary for me to do that so that I could be what my children need. Because when you truly love Christ and you truly for Him and you truly living for Him, you know what I'm learning? Christ helped you to get out of yourself. Because if you really look at the life of Christ, everything He did was not for His benefit. All the suffering He went through wasn't for Him. It was for me. And am I saying that I'm the salvation of humanity? No. But I am saying I'm a part of Christ, and so I picked up my cross, and my suffering is the salvation for those that contribute to the salvation and contribute to somebody overcoming something that they're going through, and it is going to contribute to them avoiding some of the pitfalls that I had, and that is how I am joint heir with Him. Come on, Gayla. Talk and preach to yourself. Encourage your own self. Huh? I am joint heir with Him. So, yeah, I'm going to suffer. You darn sure right, the little girl in you had to go through teenage life, not knowing your worth, not knowing your value, nobody coming along to you and telling you you're a pretty little girl. But let me tell you something. Your looks ain't nothing compared to what's inside of you. What's in you